Good morning, listeners. This is Across the Tri-State for this Saturday and Sunday morning at The Rock 98.3 FM. I'm Lisa. So glad that you're along with us. We are just privileged and honored to have a special guest this morning in the Tri-State, Miss Sherre Chansey, Director of Pike County Outreach Council, Social Services in Waverly. Good morning, Sherre.
It's actually Kennison now.
Well,
So
Sherre Chauncey Kinnison, congratulations. Thank you for
thank
letting
you.
me know that. It's been a while since we talked, but I'm so glad to get to speak with you this morning. How is Sherre and how is the Pike County Outreach?
We are blessed. I love to let people know that. Um, there we are blessed to be able to get to do God's work. We are an extension of His hands, and so that is our calling and our due diligence. So
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
enjoying it.
I feel that way myself with the work that God's given me to do. We were talking earlier off mic about how it's not a job, it is a calling, and there's quite a difference.
It is. I
And I
agree.
and I feel like that's what you have let us know, that it's not just a job; it is a calling. And you were doing this before you were doing this. So,
Exactly. I spent probably a good 10 years doing this before I got into a job, um, helping feed people under the bridges and in the woods, and just trying to love them and show them that someone cares, and that God loves them and that there are people out there for them.
there is a place where He reaches us, and I know that through the outreach, you are the hands and feet of Christ. Let us know about Pike Outreach and the social services you provide there in Waverly.
Okay. Pike Outreach has been in existence for quite a few years. The food pantry has actually been in operations for 51 years now. The shelter has been in operations for 28 years now. The food pantry, we are operated by volunteers solely. We operate off of donations. There are no grants for food. So we take everything we can get and distribute it as much as we can. And God has been blessing that. It seems to be a little bit of increase, so that has been good.
Good.
Um, we are open 4 days a week. We take anyone who walks in the door from Pike County. Each county has their own food pantry, so you have to service your own county. So that is what we do there, and we are blessed enough to be able to walk the clients through like you're in a grocery store. And so that seems to a lot of the clients like that. They get a little grocery cart, they walk through, we get to minister to them, they tell us their stories and ask us to pray for them. So that is always a good thing. And then the shelter, that is a different story there. We take in men, women, and children. We can house 16. Sometimes I stretch out a little bit by throwing the babies in playpens. Not throwing, but and so we place them in the playpens. And so we we are not a drop-in shelter, and the shelter has more aspects. So I can always talk a little bit more on that. We do full case management. We offer life skills, budgeting. We connect you with any resource we can get our hands on to help you succeed. We help you with find jobs and housing, and we've even had a couple of cars donated and things like
Wow.
that. So we work very diligently with you because we do want you to succeed. We don't want you to be 45 years old and homeless repetitively for the rest of your life. We want you to know that you can do this. And so there is a spiritual side to it as well. We are faith-based, but we work with a lot of local churches. And so we got some who come in and minister, whether it be through a dinner or just introducing themselves and praying with them. We have a couple churches that'll bring a bus over and pick up some of the clients who want to go to church. And they work with me on getting them active in the community.
Yes.
And so that's, we're blessed enough that we get to meet these people, and I believe we all cross paths for a reason, no matter what it is. Sometimes we teach them, sometimes they teach us.
Mm.
Um, and so we get to love on them. We get to, teach them that there is someone who cares.
That's exactly the heart of the gospel, isn't it? The Lord always
Yes.
took time for the people, and, as his hands and feet, we have to get down to where they are, and I believe that you're doing that at Pike Outreach. You said you had church partners. Are there any community partners that work with you there at the shelter and at the outreach?
Yes, we work with local community action. There is integrated services. We all work very well together. Even some of your recovery council um, agencies, we work with them. We work with agencies that place some of our clients into jobs that they couldn't get before. Um, we work with mental health agencies
Mm,
a lot because there is so much mental health. You never heard this stuff 30 years ago.
mm,
Um, we just worked through it. We just did it. And
mhm.
so, but now it's become a thing that we need to pay attention to. People are lost, people are hurting, and so, but yes, we work a lot with local agencies.
Do you have any needs right now that are most pressing with the outreach? Do you have a specific, um, place where folks can serve? What are your needs right now through the outreach? What your most pressing needs for your ministry?
Of, of course, money is always number one. Everyone's always going to tell you
Mm,
that. We always need money. We need money to purchase food. There's no grants for the food pantry. We run solely on donations for the food pantry. So we always need, monetary donations for that. We'd love to connect with more churches. There
mhm,
are 80 some churches in Pike County. I don't even know how many's outside of our county, but we would love to connect more with them and teach people. I've been going into churches and speaking for the last couple years, and all churches, it seems like, has a mission that is across seas. And one of the
mm,
things that I've been trying to teach them locally is we have a mission here in Pike County. Your neighbor's hungry. Your neighbor, their electric shut off. They can't afford to buy toilet paper. So let's take Pike County on as a mission.
mm,
And
absolutely.
people have been floored by that. They didn't realize it. And I didn't understand how they didn't get it. They've been here their whole lives. And I know most of these ministers and most of these church members. And so, it's great to help Africa, but what about your backyard
Mm,
neighbor? And so
mm,
there's always the monetary need. Of course, the food pantry can always use food as long as it's non-perishable. And then the shelter, always personal hygiene, always cleaning supplies. We're doing Socktober right now.
mhm,
Socktober is a national event. All shelters do them. It got started by one gentleman who met a homeless man on the street, and he said, "What's the greatest need?" And he said, "Socks. My feet are cold. They're wet." So
mm,
he started this on Facebook quite a few years ago, and so
mm,
all the shelters picked up on it. And so from October 31st till October 31st, we all collect socks. We prefer two. Sometimes we get one, but
mhm,
um, so that is the month for the shelter is October. And then, winter's coming up, blankets, coats, hats, scarves, gloves. We give those out as well. And we do as much as we can for as many as we can on the streets. Some people will knock on the door. We make what we call blessing bags
mhm,
in the spring, summer, and fall. It's little pop top food like peanut butter to go, viney sausages, socks, personal hygiene items, the travel size. So we always need that. And then in the wintertime, we add the hats and gloves and scarves and a blanket. So we tried to reach out again and show them that they've got someone to come to, that there's a door that they can knock on and someone will answer it.
Is there a need for volunteers, at the shelter and at the
At,
outreach?
at the shelter, it's a little harder to have volunteers there. So much HIPAA stuff, and we are blessed. We have an in-house integrated service case manager now, and then Bridgehaven itself has myself and my case manager. The volunteer hours are mostly needed at the food pantry. We go through those a lot. They come through different programs, um, whether it be transitions or job and family services, or through the courts where they have to do community service hours. So there's a continual flow of volunteers through there. So we always need them at the food pantry.
What means the most to you about this ministry, Sherre? Where's your heart? What would you like to see in your ministry here at Pike Outreach Council?
I would love to see it grow. I love to have a bigger facility, house more people, and then along with that, I would love to add on transitional housing to where if they've timed out at the homeless shelter and we just haven't had an opening for housing, that they could move into transitional housing and stay there a little longer. I think you can do it up to a year there. And so housing in Pike County is very hard. It's very minimal. But I would love to see us grow, help more people, reach more people, do more on the streets, because there are some who cannot come in and stay at the shelter for different reasons. I've learned some people cannot handle the structure. They cannot handle a routine. They can't handle the four walls. So that's why they stay outside. And that was a hard lesson that I learned 4 years ago. But again, just to see us grow and more churches and more agencies come together as one unit and fulfill as many needs as we can, because the needs are getting more.
That was my next question. Have you found that we're in a time that the needs are more pressing for food and shelter and basic needs for
They are.
those that come?
Yes, they are. People are losing jobs more often. And again, that mental health plays such a big role. I have learned that so many people, there's a saying, we're all one paycheck away from homelessness. And I've learned what that means. It's one mental breakdown. It's one tragic loss. You lose your spouse, you lose your child, and you can't cope. And so there goes the job, there goes the house, there goes the car, and you're homeless. It's that easy to become homeless, but the need has increased so much. We're getting more people in Pike County. We don't help just Pike County. We also service Jackson and Vinton County because they don't have a homeless shelter. Then we also help other surrounding counties as well, Ross County and Sauter County. But we reach out to as many as we can. So we need more. We need a bigger space. We need more people. We need more money. It always comes down to money, because with that money you can grow.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Sherre. We'll sure be praying for your ministry, and we'll get together and we'll be reaching out here at the Rock to help any way we can with your ministry here in Pike County and the surrounding counties. If someone would like more information about how to volunteer, maybe how to get their church started, uh, helping out your ministry, or if they just had general questions or if they need a referral, how could they get in touch with you?
They can call. I have two numbers that they can call. The one is 740-947-7151, and that is at the food pantry. And then the homeless shelter is 740-941-4348.
Sherre, thank you so much for sharing with us today about your ministry at the Pike Outreach. We appreciate it. We love you, and we'll be praying for you. We will be in touch with you, and we'll get together again soon. Keep us informed, okay? Keep in touch, and
Thank
we'll
you.
talk again soon. Thank you, sir, for joining us on Acts today across the tri-state.
Thank you.